My name is Roy Gillis, CEO of Lighthouse Streaming, and you're watching Centex Sports Network.
I mean, just to walk in here and see all these fans supporting us is unreal.
That's all you try to do is go out there and focus and do your job and just keep making one pitch at a time.
We on our way to the top, yeah, yeah, yeah. We on our way to the top, yeah, yeah, yeah. They gotta sit back and watch, yeah, yeah, yeah. We on our way to the, we on our way to the, yeah, we on our way to the top.
Look, make sure you mention my name with the greats. Whole lot of talk, but it ain't no debate. We light it up like we causing an accident, but it ain't no mistake. Seat at the table, I carry the weight. They want the beef, so we hide the steaks. Bust in the kitchen and fire the chef.
We on our way to the top, yeah, yeah, yeah. We on our way to the.
We can't be the guys that's gonna be timid and not knowing what's going on. You play hard, you play together. I mean, that's all we ask.
This is what we all have to do.
Be locked in, focus, just be disciplined, all right?
Now I feel like Kyrie, I'ma have to take the shot. If they tryna call me dog, I gotta hit the block. Started from the bottom, but we made it to the top. And I told them time is money, that's why I don't ever stop. I got my black hoodie with a rollie on, eating pasta like Corleone. I don't got time for no fake boy. If you got the money, gon' show me some. I got 2 whips and I'm self-paid. Never got help, bro, I'm self-made. Started from the bottom, but we made it to the top. And I told them time is money, that's why I don't ever stop. Hey, what up, say? Home up in the studio, till I'm locked in. My stock going way up, I got options. Yeah, they fine, but stop playing, you not him. Wait, the numbers going up.
You got 8 seconds to prove you're worth the price of admission. And you got Baylor Scott and White Health along for the ride. So square up. You got this.
MCC has definitely benefited me most on not only what I want to do, but who I aspire to be. Expect every professor to help you become who you want to be and more. Create your own success at MCC.
RJ's Bargain Center is your home team for appliances at unbeatable prices. From refrigerators to washers, dryers to stoves, you'll find brand new appliances with huge discounts. And just like your favorite local teams, RJ's is proud to support our community and local sports. Score your savings today at RJ's Bargain Center, 711 Lynn Street, Waco. Call 254-224-6178. RJ's Bargain Center, where big savings are always a home run.
Son, all your car needs now is a stereo system. Now I know just the spot to go get it. Man, Jack Stereo.
Oh yeah, they're the best. How'd you know about that place?
Bro, that's where my dad took me.
Oh, that's cool.
And I'm the coolest cat on the block.
Oh my God.
Need a new audio system for your new ride? Jack Stereo has been selling the best stereos and equipment for generations after generations. Come visit your local store today. Those in the know, go to Jack Stereo, Waco, Temple, Killeen, and Bryan College Station.
This is why you need Centex Primetime. Jalen Gillis brings the realness. Dive into the heart of sports with the most passionate commentary around. From pro to high school, Jalen's got the insight and energy you crave. Catch all the action weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. on the Centex Sports Network, only on YouTube. Join the conversation and elevate your sports knowledge with Centex Primetime. Don't miss it.
Hello and welcome back into Centex Primetime. I am your host, Jalen Gillis. We get ready to bring you through the primetime topics in sports, not just here locally, but from all around the nation. Hope everybody's doing well today on this Tuesday afternoon. We've got plenty to talk about. March Madness is in full effect. We even get the play-in games starting tonight. March Madness will start tonight with a couple of play-in games that they have. We'll break it down. We'll do some bracketology up here today on the show. We'll give you guys what we think about the first couple of rounds of this tournament coming up. We'll also talk about the NBA. The NBA obviously in full effect, going into the final stretch of the season, the final month of the regular season. Teams are looking good. Lakers got a win last night. We'll talk about the Lakers. They've won 6 games in a row. Talk about them and what they've been able to do. We'll talk a little bit of NFL as well. They've had some signings, recent signings, a couple of guys changing teams. Free agency still going. We talked about the Chiefs trading for Justin Fields a little bit yesterday. We'll talk about it some more today. The biggest trade news in the NFL, Jalen Waddle headed to the Denver Broncos. They make a trade to get the speedy receiver from Miami, bring him over to the Denver Broncos as well. Eagles signed Hollywood Brown, so we'll talk about some NFL signings, and we'll do some quick takes. Team USA playing Venezuela in the World Baseball Classic tonight as well. So lots to jump into today here on Centex Primetime. We'll get right into it. Joining me here at the table, we've got the HBCU insider and the most famous man in Waco, Mr. Rocky Miller, in the building with us. Rock, what's going on?
What's going on, Jalen, man? You know, it's always good to be here. It's on Tuesday. You know, this is a great time of year, man. The only thing that could make this better is if they was throwing the football around. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be. I quit my job if they was throwing the football around this time of year. But no, this is a great time of year. I love the tournament. I always have learned to love the tournament. Tournament since I was a young boy. It was one of the times that my mom would let me stay up a little later at night in case that West Coast tournament game. Nowadays, when I try to catch it, I fall asleep on it. But no, I try to catch it. And again, you said we're gonna do a little bracketology.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that's what they do on other brackets.
Okay.
We do bracketism.
Okay, bracketism. Hey, I like that one a little better.
We do some bracketism over here. And so we're gonna do a little bracketism.
Yeah, for sure.
And look at some of these games. Man, there's some tasty matchups in this first round. It's crazy how the NCAA tournament committee makes no bones about it.
Yeah.
They try to create interesting matchups.
Yes, they do.
They try to create storylines from the very first tip. And they don't have any problem putting regional rivalries in the first round. You know,
Yep.
You know, when you look at Virginia and North Carolina being right there with each other, who's in the meeting in the first round? VCU and North Carolina.
Yep.
Natural kind of turf war right there with Virginia Commonwealth University playing against North Carolina. There's so many, and there's stories like that all over.
Yeah, the potential of a national championship rematch, because they got Florida and they put Florida and Houston in the same side of the bracket.
Oh, yeah.
So we get a potential, if both of them get that far, potential national championship
They
rematch.
didn't want to repeat the last game. They must have got bad ratings last year. So they don't want to repeat of last year's game. I'm just
no,
saying.
that's true. That's true. That all plays a part in it.
That plays a part into it. Another thing that surprised me, man, is how how they loaded up Duke's region. With it almost to the point to where whenever Duke plays, they're going to be playing another name brand team no matter when they play. They get Siena off the bat, but they're going to either have Ohio State and TCU in the second round, both. Yep. And then when you go, they could easily have in the Sweet 16, they could have a face-off with Kansas, you know, easily. And then when they get to the Elite Eight, which, there's usually all good teams there, you got teams like UConn, UCLA, Louisville, and Michigan State as potential matchups. So, they have that.
A lot of big names, coaching names. And just in that side of the bracket alone, Bill Self at Kansas. You got Duke in there as well. You got at St. John's out there as well. You got Rick Pitino. So, and then you topped it off just talking about Michigan State and what they got with Tom Izzo. So that side of the region is loaded. Usually I feel like it's the other way around. Usually feel like Duke gets to play scrub in the first round. In the second round, they'll play against High Point, and then the third round. But now they're kind of front loading this like Duke's going to have to prove it.
You know what I really believe nowadays is what's happening in the tournament? We're in an era where you could get a Butler and I know Butler's not in the tournament, a Butler and a Gonzaga, and though people say they love the Cinderella, historically the Cinderella makes for great stories, but not for great ratings. And so what they want, what I think the plan is here is to continue to make sure that there are name brands when it gets to the Final Four. So even though Duke has a tough road to hoe, you almost guarantee that you end up getting a UConn, UCLA, Michigan State, Louisville, Kansas, St. John's, Ohio State, or Duke. Like coming out of that region.
Yeah.
Like you're going to get a name brand.
It's guaranteed name brand coming out that side.
Because I look at the teams that are not name brands, they're really long shots. You know what I mean? And so, but when you look over here at Arizona, and this is what when I look over at Arizona, I look at Arizona, they have a pretty easy way. And again, as the number one overall seed, you expect them to have it a little easier than the rest of them. And again, I see a lot of, second round, they play a Utah State or Villanova team that will be clearly outmanned against Arizona. And then you go to that Sweet 16 matchup. You got to choose from UConn, High Point, Arkansas, and Hawaii. Arkansas is really, in my opinion, the only team that could really pose a significant threat out of that. And I think Arkansas will be outmanned in that battle as well. So I just think this tournament is setting up to be a situation where I don't see where the Cinderella
can get through
with how they have the tournament kind of. You would almost, this is what I believe would have to happen. You're going to have two favorites knocked off in the same bracket to give a underdog a real chance. And what I mean by underdog, I'm talking about a directional school that's not typically associated with success in the NCAA tournament. Like if North Carolina as a 6th seed goes all the way to the Final Four, of course they're going to be considered an underdog, but it's North Carolina.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you can even say that for schools like Clemson, Iowa, Vanderbilt. I don't see a McNeese getting to, even though they've had some upsets in the tournament before.
Yeah,
and then even with it's interesting how they've already created a second round matchup where the University of Houston could be playing Texas A&M, those schools are probably
huge rating game.
Yeah,
for sure.
That was an hour and a half drive away from each other,
Yeah.
and that could be a SEC Big 12 matchup. That's always a historical. They've been in the conference with each other in previous years, with both of them being in the Southwest Conference some decades ago.
Yeah.
But I just think that the committee year after year, you can nitpick their selections around who makes the tournament
and stuff
like that. But when you talk about it, they do their best to create compelling stories, and they do a great job of that. Going into tonight's matchups, which I think is pretty good. Me being an HBCU guy, it's good to see that Howard and the University of Maryland, Baltimore, they're playing each other. That's a natural rivalry. They're just probably just as close as from here to Killeen to one another.
Seriously, yeah.
And they're playing in the first round and dating against each other. So that's an interesting matchup. And
PV will play tomorrow.
Huh?
That's it.
And PV plays tomorrow against a team, Lehigh. And the interesting thing in those matchups with those HBCUs, I took both of those HBCUs to win. I'm hoping that I get at least one of those wins, but I think we can get both of them, to be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah, it's going to be some good matchups. When I look at the first round, before we just dive into it, when I'm looking at the first, I think this year, because of the parity in college basketball and because of NIL giving so many different teams opportunities, I think the first round we have a chance to see a pretty good amount of upsets in the first round. But to your point, I agree. I don't think any of these Cinderellas are able to get through to the Sweet 16, to the Elite Eight. I don't see one of those lower level teams making it all the way to an Elite Eight because of how heavy powered those 1, 2, and 3 seeds are really in each side of the bracket this year. But in the first round, I think we'll get some upsets. Last year when we did the bracket breakdown on here, we talked about the SEC and how I didn't really feel like all those teams that got in were really going to have a chance to do something in the tournament. And I think over half of the SEC teams that got in the tournament lost in the first round last year. I see some of that kind of happening similar this year. You've got some teams that are coming in. Yeah, they got the resumes because they're in the ACC or they're in the Big 12, but I think some of these smaller schools have a chance to get a big upset. I don't think they have enough to get to the Sweet 16, maybe get past the 1 seed or get past the 2 seed. But in that first round, I think we'll have a good amount of upsets going forward. I tried not to go back to my bracket last year and say, man, I was right there. I feel like I almost got it right. I had U of H as my winner, and Florida edged them out at the last second last year in the finals. I'm leaning towards U of H once again this year. They got a really tough team. I think Kingston Flemings is one of the best guards in the nation. I don't like picking the same team in back-to-back years, but as of right now, my bracket could change. I got till Thursday. As of right now, I got U of H going in all the way. We're going to go through these first couple of rounds, but when you just look at the first glance really at the bracket, who do you think could come out on top this year moving forward?
Again, I've been watching since football season is over, I've been watching a lot of Big 12 basketball.
Yeah.
I've been watching, some SEC basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, probably my favorite conference of all time, even though I don't really have a team in the conference. I love watching ACC basketball because of just the sheer passion that
the nostalgia of it.
Yeah. And so I think by far, I think the Big 12 is better. The Big 12 is the best conference.
It's loaded.
Not only from team-wise, but they got some of the best individual talent.
Absolutely.
In the country. And so when I think about this, you have to just when you talk about depth and size, you got to give Arizona a great shot.
Yeah. Then
you look at Duke. Duke, they're down a starter or two.
Mm-hmm.
It's always tough for a team like that to win when you're down a starter.
Yeah.
And Duke, to be honest with you, I don't think they're really that deep of a team.
Mm-hmm.
They need all their guys that they depend on to play. So Duke, and then when you look at a team like Florida.
Yeah.
Who on paper you say they should be a pretty decent team, but at the end of the day, I think Vanderbilt beat them by 20-plus points.
Yeah.
I don't see how you can.
TCU beat them early in the year too, kind of a random loss, but yeah.
So I don't see them being able to beat a team like Houston. And here's the deal about Houston. You're going to get the same team every single time they come out. They're going to bloody your nose every time. And even in the event you're able to stand up to the physical punishment, what are you going to be like as a team the next game?
Yep.
And so I look at Houston being, even though Florida is the number 1 seed, I think the de facto number 1 seed is actually Houston in that.
I agree.
And so, in my opinion, they're heads or tails above anybody in the bottom half of the black bracket, and they're actually a better team than Florida, in my opinion.
Yeah, Houston, like you said, their team, I think probably the most consistent team in this tournament. And the most consistent team maybe over the last 3 or 4 years. We're talking about a team that every year now for the last 3 years, everyone's got picked in their Final Four and that they're making the Final Four. On top of that, outside of when they lost, and I think the Elite Eight, they had Jamal Shead a few years ago. But this team has delivered year in and year out. That's a testament to their coach. And, the number 1 seeds, I hate going into it picking, if I go to my Final Four and I got all 1 seeds in there, I start redoing stuff and saying I got to move some around because normally all 1 seeds don't make it, even though last year I think 3 number 1 seeds made it to the Final Four. This year is kind of one similar to that. I think the 1 seeds are going to have a strong chance to make it, like you said. Arizona, just based off of their depth and their size, they can play every style of basketball. They can go small. They can play big with guys like Koa Pete and those different guys they got. It's going to be fun looking at it. Let's look at this first round. Let's start over in the East region in Duke. We were just talking about those guys. I think we both have Duke moving on, taking out Siena. I don't think Siena has much of a chance. Like I said yesterday, folks, for those of y'all that do like to bet on the games, please stay away from these large spreads that you'll see in the bracket. I know it looks enticing. I know you'll see Duke, and you'll say, oh, man, these guys, it's Duke. Of course they're going to beat everybody. But when it starts getting to minus 30, when it starts getting like who's doing that? How do you know somebody's going to beat somebody by 30? You have no idea. If you want to make donations, once again, like I said yesterday, well, I'll put the Cash App links in the YouTube description. If you just, because that's all it is a donation when you start betting on the spreads like that. But I think we both have them moving on. Ohio State and TCU. This is kind of the first game where you're looking on like, okay, this is pretty interesting. Which way do you go here? Two teams that kind of sort of underachieved in some people's eyes going throughout the season. It's an even toss-up match between this one. They got Ohio State favored by 2.5 in this game. I would lean towards Ohio State, even though I am a Big 12 guy. I've seen TCU get some good wins this year, like them beating Florida early on in the year. They've had some bad losses in the Big 12. And as I said yesterday, I like to go with guard play when I'm looking at the Sweet 16, especially in those first rounds. They got a dynamic guard in Bruce Thornton at Ohio State that's averaging 20-plus a game. I'll go with Ohio State in that one.
Yeah, you can go with Ohio State all you want to, but I got the Big 12 team because, again, night in, night out, when you talk about the league that they play in, there's nothing going to be surprising about what TCU sees. They saw the bouncer. They saw the guard. True. They saw Fleming. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They've seen these guys night in and night out, and so they've seen the guard over at Iowa State. So, again, when you look at this matchup, I just think it's a situation where TCU has even though they may not have the better player in the matchup, but I think they definitely have the better team. And so I'm going to go with the better team on that one.
Yeah, it's an 8-9 matchup. Those are always your most toss-up games probably out of everything in the total tournament.
And get against that, this is a neutral site game as well. So whereas if this game is played at Ohio State, I may would. But when you're talking about a young Ohio State team that is first time in the tournament, come on. I just think whoever adjusts to this environment first probably is going to win the game, and I think TCU has a leg up because they've been to these places. They've been to Iowa State. They've been to Baylor, for lack of a better word. They've been to Houston. It's just the league is just tough, and so they're battle tested over there over at TCU.
Looking right below them, St. John's and Northern Iowa. The 5-12 matchups for all the bracket makers. Those are the hot picks that everybody wants to pick, a 12 over a 5, a 13 over a 4. I'm not taking the bait whatsoever. Northern Iowa, they had a decent season, but they weren't even the best team in that conference. They just ended up winning the conference tournament. St. John's is battle-tested. Rick Pitino, you know what he's all about when it comes to March Madness. I'm going with St. John's.
So historically, what you want to look at when you look at a 5-12 seed, this is what you want to look at. First thing I look at is St. John's properly seeded? And when I look at it, and I don't judge them by the other 5s. I judge them by the guys on the 4 line. So when you look at the guys on the 4 line, you look at a Kansas. Is St. John's as good as Kansas? Probably not. And then you go over in Nebraska. I think when you really look at it, St. John's is probably a better team than Nebraska.
Yeah, I would say. Yeah.
So what? What do you say? St. John's is probably underseeded, right? Then you take it to Northern Iowa, and Northern Iowa is in a situation where they're probably overseeded when you really think about what they've accomplished this season. Everybody talks about the pace of play and whatever. these matchups, these upsets happens when at the 5-12 spot, when teams are overseeded and the 12 seed is underseeded. And they create these matchups or whatever. It's not in this game.
No.
I think this game is close to being accurate.
Yeah.
Accurate. And some would say if anybody's given the benefit of the doubt in this, it's Northern Iowa. I see St. John's and winning this one's probably going away.
Yeah, I see this one being kind of a runaway game when it gets into the second half. Right below them, Kansas and Cal Baptist. Now, this is an interesting one. Kansas is heavily favored in this one, but this is one of those hot games that people are picking. Cal Baptist has got a dynamic point guard. He's a little guy, 5'11". You know they like that kind of stuff during March Madness. But the dude can ball. I had to go back and look at his highlights after I seen everybody picking him. Dude can ball. He's averaging 23 points a game. But this is Kansas. This is Bill Self. And they got the guy that might be the number one pick in the draft. I'm taking Kansas in this one.
Oh, there's not much to talk about here. Yeah. The little guy is surely dynamic, but where is he going to be drafted in the is he a lottery pick?
No.
No, so let's cut the bull. We got Kansas in this one.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
I'll even move on and say Louisville is the clear pick in the second one in the next game for me as well.
This one is a toss-up for me. This one was kind of one of my upset picks because Louisville kind of had some underachieving moments, and they might be without their best player in Michael Brown going into this game. So other guys are going to have to do things that they're not used to doing playing against the South Florida team. But it's a toss-up game. I got either one of them losing in the next round if they make it, whether that's South Florida or Louisville. Below them, Michigan State and North Dakota State. North Dakota State, if you watch March Madness over the years, they're just one of those upset teams. They pulled off upsets multiple times. Remember, they got even Baylor one year in it. They're playing against a Michigan State team that I think could have been seeded as a 2 seed this year. They've had some really good moments. They got a really good squad. Jeremy Fears is playing some of the best basketball in the country, almost averaging a double-double. I got Michigan State all the way.
So I'll ask you this about this game because this is what I've said.
Mm-hmm.
Michigan State, how do they shoot? Because I think in an upset game, what generally creates a style, say style makes fights. We know North Dakota is gonna come in bombing.
For sure.
That's what they do. But if they bomb, can Michigan State keep up? And that's my question here. I got Michigan State clearly, but that's why I say this is an upset. I'm not saying upset alert, but this from a style standpoint.
You got to watch.
If North Dakota gets hot, can Michigan State catch up offensively?
Yeah.
We know they can compete defensively, but can they catch up offensively?
Yeah, I agree. Because North Dakota, like you said, historically they shoot the ball well, and Michigan is historically can't shoot the ball. And this year they cannot shoot the ball a lick. Nobody out there can shoot. I watched
So
Michigan
if they
State
get
play.
down, you see what you understand what I'm saying? If they get down, where are they going to go for offense? How are they going to get back in the game? But usually their defense more than makes up for that. So the next one, which is UCLA.
Yeah.
And I think this is one that I thought was pretty much a toss-up. Because I think a lot of the health is in question about some of the players on UCLA. And so, and UCF has played really well this season. So, again, I would have to take, this is one of those games where you take UCLA because you know what they are.
Yeah.
And even if UCLA is who they are, UCF is going to have to play above their head to win.
I agree.
And I'll take UCLA. I'll take UCLA on that one.
And I'm picking off of pedigree mostly with UCLA. I've seen the historic UCLA over the years. I looked at a couple of their matchups and teams that they beat. They got some decent wins. I started to lean towards UCF just because they were in the Big 12. And as you said before, they've seen everybody, all the big names. But I'll go UCL in this one because I've seen UCF play a couple times this year.
And this is
nothing impressed me.
And when you look at bracketism, right? So because this is what we're talking.
Yeah.
I think you take UCLA and put them on the line, not because you think they're overwhelming favorite, right? But just because if you take them there and you get that victory, right? you know you're gonna get. I'm gonna take UConn.
Yeah.
So you
Same
don't
thing
want
I was thinking.
Yeah, you don't want to give up a point to the field.
Yeah.
Just by trying to be a smart ass.
No, exactly. I'm not trying to overly think it. I'm not trying to go out here and, well, this team, they shot this from the, no, man, no. I'm going to go with UCLA knowing that UConn going to smack either one of them, whoever comes out of that game.
Yeah.
UConn is definitely going to beat them. So we only have to say UConn versus Furman. We both got UConn in that one. Let's move down to the South region. PV Panthers, I think, can get over Lehigh and make it into this game. But whoever makes it into that game, Florida will be doing their thing and taking them out. I definitely have Florida moving on in that one. Iowa and Clemson. ACC hasn't been that great this year. I've seen Iowa play a couple of times. Neither one of these teams are overwhelming. Iowa, I think, just has the better player, and the Sturts kid down there, he's averaging 20 points a game. That's the reason I picked Iowa in this one.
You know what? I got Iowa too. I think in these kind of games, it's in this game you just take the best player and you hope that kind of works out. I think Clemson has had a pretty nondescript season.
Yeah.
I know they probably didn't barely get in, but I would say they were probably one of the last 8 teams to get in if you really want to look.
When
at
you
it.
see those major Power 4 schools add an 8 or a 9 seed, you know that they didn't really take care of business like that throughout the season. And they kind of just got placed in there. That's how I feel about Clemson. Yeah, I'll go with Iowa. Vanderbilt and McNeese. There goes another 5-12 for those people that like those. This is one I thought about. This is, in my opinion, an upset alert. I'm taking Vandy in this one. Vandy's got a good team. I don't want to go out on Vandy just like that. I've seen Vandy get some good wins throughout the year. They beat a really good Alabama team. They played Florida down to the wire. They beat a good Tennessee team this year, and they split with Florida as well. So for that reason, I'm taking Vandy. But McNeese, these guys can shoot the ball. They're going to come out, as you said earlier, they're going to have that pace of play. They're going to have a high pace. But when I seen them play against some top-tier competition this year, they played against the Santa Clara team that I think is pretty good. They lost to those guys. They played Michigan this year, and they lost by almost 50. So I'm going to go with Vanderbilt in this game based on those recent other games that they had.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Vandy in this game, and I just don't see a world where this Vanderbilt team, considering what they've done this season, gets clipped by a McNeese team.
Yeah, I can't see that happening either. Nebraska versus Troy. This one is easy for me. Nebraska, they play good all year long. Honestly, you talked about one of those. I don't think they're underseeded. They're about at a 4 seed, but they went 26-6 in the Big Ten, which is not a slouch conference in itself. They play some good basketball. The times that I did tune in to see them, it's team-oriented basketball. No huge stars standing out on this team, but they got good size in their front court as well. I actually like this Nebraska team in the tournament. I definitely like them versus Troy.
Yeah, I'll agree with you on this, but I would say this is one where if you took Nebraska, take them on the money line. Don't take them the point spread because they'll be under a lot of pressure in this game. They're the favorite, and this will be their Nebraska's first ever tournament win if they get it. So that's amazing to hear. Like saying that out loud. A big
school like Nebraska, yeah.
Saying that out loud is really weird. That this is the first
potential win for them.
Potential win, yeah. If they win, it'll be the first win, yeah. So
yeah, I think that is kind of strange seeing the school as big as Nebraska not being able to get one. North Carolina VCU. This is where it starts to get a little weird for me. I'm going to take VCU in this game. I'm just going to come out and say it. North Carolina, I did like the way that they played without Caleb Wilson, but without having your best player on the team who's going to be out for the rest of the season in this game, playing against a team like VCU, known for the upsets. They're playing in Carolina. These are two teams that's right there next to each other, and they're playing the game in Greenville, South Carolina. VCU is going to show up in this game. I like VCU for the upset.
I like it too, man. And I don't know about you, but since Hubert Davis has been the coach, and I know they made a run
a couple years ago,
a few years ago, probably in 2021, the 2022 one of them, they made a run. I think 22. They made a run. They've been soft.
Yeah, I agree.
Every it seems like every game where they are they can't get a big win in a situation where they have to have it. And they almost becoming what I thought Duke was toward the end of Krzyzewski's run as head coach.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I got VCU in this for sure, and I'll go ahead and take Illinois against Penn. I just don't think Penn has the athletes to keep up with a team like
Illinois is a really good team going into this tournament. I definitely got them over Penn. St. Mary's and Texas A&M. I talked about last year. We talked about those SEC teams that kind of get thrown into the tournament and end up losing. This is one of those for me. A&M is a team that's just kind of in there. They showed me nothing throughout the regular season for me to pick them against whoever they're playing. St. Mary's is actually a really good team. I'll take St. Mary's. If they weren't playing Houston in the potential next round, I would pick St. Mary's maybe as a Sweet 16 team. I think they're actually a good team.
Hey, I got you. I really hope Houston. I think Houston playing because I want Houston to win.
Mm-hmm.
Their region would be a easier matchup if A&M could win.
Yes,
but
sure.
But St. Mary's is going to win that game. Put your money down on that.
Yeah.
A&M again. A&M just isn't that good of a basketball team. They've played well, but in the grand scheme of things, the best they're middle of the road in the SEC.
Exactly.
And St. Mary's was a really good team in the out west.
Yeah. Mountain West. Yeah, I definitely take St. Mary's.
West Coast Conference.
West Coast, that's what it is.
West Coast Conference. And again, they've played Gonzaga and teams like that. I mean, and I forget the other. There's another good Santa Clara.
Yeah, Santa Clara.
There's another good team out there that as much as we want to talk about the SEC, but Gonzaga probably wins the SEC if they're in it.
Oh yeah. I mean, they'd be right there with Florida and
maybe
and Arkansas and things like that. Like they'd be right there with those guys if they were in there. So yeah, I agree with you. I'll definitely take St. Mary's in that one. Let's look over to the Midwest in the first round. We'll take Michigan obviously over potentially Howard if they pull off the win versus University of Maryland, Baltimore County. The Georgia St. Louis game, another just like we talked about with A&M. This Georgia team, very very middle of the pack team. I'll actually take a high scoring St. Louis team to be able to outscore Georgia. I just don't know if they'll be able to keep up scoring the ball wise because they've been underwhelming this year.
Yeah, I just think St. Louis is just a middling team. I'm gonna take Georgia in that matchup.
8-9. Right under them, Texas Tech and Akron. This is a game that I went back and forth on so many times, just because once again, JT Toppin out for the season. He's their best player. He's averaging 20 and 11 coming into this tournament. He's going to be out for the season with a torn ACL. Christian Anderson, who is their next best player, went out in the Big 12 tournament. He said he's going to play in the tournament, but he's clearly going to be banged up. He went out in the tournament and lost. They're playing against a really, really good Akron team. I'm actually leaning towards taking Akron for the upset in this 5-12 matchup with Tech and Akron.
Yeah, in this matchup, I think Akron is probably – I think Tech is properly seeded if healthy.
If healthy, yep.
I think Akron is probably underseeded when you really think about it.
29-5, they're underseeded.
And so, I mean, I'm with you. Right now, before I fill my bracket out, I'm thinking Akron is the better matchup. It provides, more of a punch. Where's that game being played? If you can tell.
Let's see. They will be playing.
I'm surprised that we're not having any first round games in Texas. I think Oklahoma City is the closest.
Yeah, I was surprised about that too as well.
No Houston, no San Antonio, no Dallas. Man, it's.
They'll be playing this game Midwest region. I don't know why it's not showing.
Probably St. Louis.
Benchmark, Akron. I don't know. I can't. It showed me on the other one where they were playing this one. I didn't see where they were playing this one at. But yeah, Tech, man, they just too banged up. I think they're a really good team coming into the tournament. Tampa. They'll be playing in Tampa.
Okay.
So super neutral site for both sides. It's far for both teams going out there where they'll be playing. Yeah, I think Akron can pull off one of those first upsets. First upset for that morning. They'll be playing the first game on Friday, and I think they can get it cracking on that one. Alabama versus Hofstra. Don't even know where Hofstra is or what that is.
I think.
Some people were picking them as an upset win. Absolutely not. This Alabama team is. I mean, I know they got some losses, but this is one of those guys you could say almost underseeded, even though they're a 4 team. They're really good. LeBaron Phillips, one of the best guards in the nation, averaging 22 points a game. I've seen Alabama pull off some big wins this year. I like Bama for sure in this game.
I definitely like Alabama.
Yeah, now I think that's an easy one. Tennessee versus the winner of SMU and Miami, Ohio. This is a game that, I kind of went back and forth on this one. Tennessee, they've had their ups, some really good ups, and they've had some downs so far in their SEC campaign this year. Miami of Ohio was everybody's favorite, obviously. I was surprised that they had to even play a play-in. They won 30 games, I think, straight in a row before they finally lost in the MAC championship game. I thought they would be a sure in to get in, but they're going to have to play in against an SMU team that's got a couple of dynamic guards. Really not a great team, but they got 2 guards that can put up 30 on you, so it makes them dangerous. I'm going to roll with Tennessee in this one just to play it safe because I don't even know if Miami's going to get past SMU, honestly.
In this one, I'm going to have to see SMU play against Miami of Ohio.
Yeah. Same.
I'm probably going to take Tennessee, but I got to see SMU play because if SMU can handle Miami of Ohio, again, Tennessee, anything that Tennessee presents won't be a shock to SMU. And so I think, there's a chance I may take SMU if they're able to handle.
That's what I'm thinking. If
they
they get past Miami, and depending on how I think Boobie Dixon is the guy's name, man, he can go. If y'all haven't watched him play, that dude can go. So that'll be an interesting matchup. Virginia versus Wright State. I got Virginia in this one. Super solid team all the way around. I know Tony Bennett is not the coach anymore of Virginia, but this looks like a Tony Bennett type of team. Solid guys. They got 4 or 5 guys averaging double figures. I like Virginia easily in this one against Wright State.
Yeah, I definitely like Virginia as well.
Kentucky and Santa Clara. This is another one of my upset picks. 7-10 is not that big of an upset, but I'll go with Santa Clara in this one. Kentucky, underwhelming. I think this is a name brand pick. They've had some really bad losses in the SEC. They got some good wins over some teams. They've had some bad losses too. I think they're just a middle of the pack team. Santa Clara, actually a really good team. I'm picking them over Kentucky.
Yeah, man, I hate to agree with you like this.
Yeah.
But that's what I think as well. Even though Kentucky is very talented, I just don't think they're prepared for what they're gonna see at South Carolina. And look. I look at this. I think the ACC, the SEC fought for those 10 at-large bids that they got. They got them.
Yep.
And they said, hey, we're going to match you up against those West Coast Conference teams that we think are really good. So
St. Mary's versus A&M, Santa Clara versus Kentucky.
Yeah.
They set them up.
Yeah.
They set them up. I'm not even going to lie. I didn't even look at that. They set them up.
Yeah.
They said, we tired of seeing the SEC. Y'all cry because y'all wanted all these spots. Okay, here's your spots. Go ahead and go out there and lose playing against some of these teams. Yeah, I like Santa Clara in that one. Iowa State definitely over Tennessee. And the last one we have is the West. Arizona coming in the number 1 seed. You spoke about it when we first started the show. Maybe the most complete team, I think, in this tournament. When you look at depth, when you look at size, they got really good guards and they got really good bigs. So obviously we're taking them over Long Island. Utah State versus Villanova. I think Villanova is a decent team. But when you're playing in the Big East, it's kind of hard to judge some of these guys. Outside of UConn, I think even the West Coast Conference has some better teams than what the Big East has presented in the last couple of years. They got UConn, they got Villanova, they got St. John's. Utah State, man, a really good team, honestly. You look at their record, some of their resume of guys that they've beat, some of the teams that they were able to compete against. A Wisconsin team that comes in as a 5 seed, they actually beat those guys playing early on in the season as well. I kind of like Utah State in this game over Villanova.
No, I mean, I can't justify that pick. I'll go with Villanova. I just think Utah State, night in, night out, they don't play the kind of competition I think that Villanova sees, and they'll be able to handle it. When you're going to need a heroic, if Villanova plays okay, they should be able to take care of Utah State. But again, this is an 8-9 matchup. It can go either way. But I'm gonna take Villanova in this set. I'm just not gonna take any chances right there.
Yeah, it's
toss. Because I'm gonna take Arizona in the next one.
Yeah,
anyway,
in the next one regardless. So it doesn't even really matter. Another 5-12 potential upset right here. Wisconsin versus High Point. Wisconsin had a pretty decent year, but once again, they're playing in the Big Ten. They go 24-10 in the Big Ten. It's not like that's the SEC. It's not like that's the Big 12. Even though they do have some good players on their team. High Point, when you look at all these small schools coming in, man, High Point might be the best of the really small schools. Now, I don't consider Gonzaga one of the small schools because they've proven themselves over and over. This High Point team's coming in 30-4. They average a lot of points coming into this game. They got 5 or 6 guys averaging double figures on this team. I like High Point to pull off an upset over Wisconsin.
Yeah, I don't like the way Wisconsin plays. I think they're set up for – this is a style makes fight kind of deal. I just think one of those situations where their height doesn't matter because a High Point is bombing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think in these traditional kind of matchups where size, matter, there won't be a distinct advantage at guard for Wisconsin. So I'm with you. If I have to, and I think it's always smart to go when you're picking out your brackets to take a 5-12, 7-10 upset. You know you're gonna get something there.
Yeah.
And so I'll take in this one I'll take High Point, and then High Point will have a chance in the next round as well.
Yeah.
No matter who they play, they'll have Arkansas or Hawaii, which I think they'll have Arkansas.
Yeah, same.
Because I'm going to take Arkansas. They'll have a chance in that game just based on style of play, and it'll just be a track meet in that game.
Absolutely. Arkansas, a really good team, but as we saw in the SEC tournament, they're not a defensive team. So they've got a chance to get them. I'm agreeing. I'll take High Point in that one. I'll take Arkansas over Hawaii. Darius Acuff might be the best player in this entire tournament. So I'm definitely taking them over Hawaii. BYU is going to play the winner of Texas versus North Carolina State. I'm going to pick Texas over North Carolina State, but I'm taking BYU in this one. I think they've got a chance to be potential upset guys moving throughout this tournament because they got something that nobody else got. They got A.J. DeBonster, who is a gamer who shows, unlike a Darren Peterson over at Kansas, and I know that's been the toss-up of who's number one, who's going to be number two. A.J. DeBonster shows he wants it. He came out in the Big 12 tournament. They were one of the last-ranked teams coming into the Big 12 tournament. They were a middle-of-the-pack team coming in the Big 12 tournament. He comes out and lights it up. He has 3 straight games with 30 points almost. The dude is showing he wants to go out here, put a team on his back, knows how to get his own shots. I like BYU in that one over whoever wins out of Texas and North Carolina State.
Yeah. I'm going to take BYU on that one. I'm going to take BYU on that. And in another great storyline for the NCAA, they set up a Gonzaga BYU matchup right there in the second round. They're getting it on right there. It'll be the player against the program.
Yeah, no, for sure. Exactly. Those are always the most fun matchups to watch in the tournaments. Whenever you can get that star player going against a team you know is better than them, but they got this guy and you can't duplicate what this guy can do. I think we both got Gonzaga over Kennesaw State in that game. Miami and Missouri. This is a 7-10 matchup. That's kind of one of those toss-up games, man. I haven't honestly liked what I've seen like that out of either one of these teams. Vegas, the odds kind of resemble that. It's a 1.5 point spread leaning towards Miami in this one. I'll go Miami, but I'll be honest, I don't know much about either one of these teams. I haven't really seen a lot of them play. Miami's got a better record playing in the ACC. I'll go with Miami over Missouri in this game. But it's a toss-up on that 7-10 matchup, I believe.
Yeah, I got Miami in this one. And in that last game, I'll go in that bottom of this West region. I'll go ahead and take Purdue as well over Queens.
Yeah, Purdue definitely will get the win over Queens moving in there. Looking at some of those teams that we picked to move forward, who do you think can be that surprise that gets into the Sweet 16 moving forward into this? Because
if there's one underdog I'm going to take in here, is I'm going to take High Point as being the underdog that has a chance to get to the Sweet 16. That's what I see. I see, this may be, and I'm not trying to be PC, but I think Duke, Arizona, Michigan, and Florida are set up to advance to the Sweet 16.
Yeah,
I think all of those guys show up next week. Now, after that, I'm not making any promises because I have my questions about Michigan and Florida, to be perfectly honest with you. And they play in, Florida plays in a bracket with Houston, and Michigan plays in a bracket where Iowa State is. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised if 3 Big 12 teams end up in the Final Four.
Yep. I said the exact same thing. I would not be shocked about that at all. I got U of H making it to the Final Four. I'll go ahead and reveal my Final Four as of right now. Obviously, this could change. I'll tweak these things all the way up until Thursday, into the deadline. My Final Four going into this, I got Houston coming out of the Southern region. I've got, in an upset, I got Michigan State coming out of that out of that East region, getting wins over big teams like a UConn and a Duke, because I've still got my reservations about this Duke team and their health moving forward into as they go throughout this tournament. On the other side, I got Arizona coming out the West. Man, they're just too complete. And as you said, I think they might have the easiest side out of all 4 of these regions. I think Arizona might have the easiest one. And coming out the 4th one, I got Iowa State. I went back and forth on Iowa State and Michigan. Iowa State, Michigan. Who would I pick out of that one? But even though this Michigan team has played really well, I think Iowa State's seen it all, man. They played the BYUs, they played Tech, they played U of H, they played everybody. The Big 12 is a gauntlet, and I think Iowa State's battle-tested. Those would be my 4, as of right now, in my Final 4 picks. What are the teams you'd like advancing out of these regions?
I first off, I like to say Houston because I've already mentioned that. I like Iowa State, Arizona, and I like Duke. I like Duke coming out of the East. I just, even though they have faced, they're going to have a tough road to hoe, but I just think the Boozer twins, along with Isaiah Evans, they're just if they all can stay healthy through this run, I think they have a chance to. I don't, here's what's funny. I think they're the least likely team of the 4 I mentioned to win it all, though, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because when they get to the Final Four, if every other team stays healthy, they'll have the probably the shortest bench and be somewhat undermanned with the injury.
Yeah. No, if Duke can stay healthy, man, they're going to be dangerous. To your point, probably the most fundamentally sound team in this. And I know that's kind of cliche saying that about a Duke team, but, man, they look like it. This team is polished. Cam Boozer looks like a vet. He looks like a 3rd or 4th year junior or senior coming into this thing. He's averaging 23 and almost 12. Like, they're a very fundamentally sound team going into this tournament. Probably the most
I was about to say the younger Boozer. I guess I could say the smaller Boozer.
Yeah, the
smaller twin.
Yeah.
He's looking like he's coming into his own as the season goes on. The team they played in the championship, I forget who they were playing, but
was it Virginia or was that the pre? That might have been. I think it was Virginia that they played in the final.
That team made a commitment to stop
Cam Boozer,
and the brothers just stepped up and was able to really make up the difference in the first half until Isaiah Evans and some of the other players could get on track. If it wasn't for him, that game would have been a blowout early.
Yeah. They're 32-2 for a reason. They've gone through the gauntlet. They played all the teams, man. So Duke is definitely going to be a good team. But folks, that's who we like in the first round. You got to do your own research. You got to go in, put the time in, especially if you guys are going to put any type of conversation down on these. Put the research in. Don't just Google top picks in the bracket because they just going to give you a bunch of random upsets that might not even happen. Put your research in, man. Put a little time in. But this one makes it fun.
Stay away from that AI.
Yeah, please stay away from AI because I've already seen y'all doing it on Instagram and on TikTok. Who's the most likely to upset? Man, I ask ChatGPT some stuff sometimes, and they'll give me some stats from last year. So don't go on there and just thinking that, whatever they say is going to be the gospel going into this. No, man, do the research for yourself. We're not going to break down the women's bracket, but I want to take a quick look at the women's bracket real quick and just talk about some teams that we think in the Final Four. Yesterday, when I was talking about this, I said the women is, unlike the men, you don't really want to pick all number one seeds going into this one or going into the tournament. In the women's side, when you see those 4 number one seeds, that's probably who you're going to see in that Final Four. They're put at the number one seed for a reason. I really do truly like all the number one seeds going into the Final Four to make it. UConn, they're undefeated, man. Coach Gino's done it again, is what it seems like. They put together another monster squad with Ozzie Fudd and with Sarah Strong. I definitely think they'll be in the Final Four. South Carolina and Dawn Staley, I'm not picking against them until somebody beats them. I can't pick against Dawn Staley or South Carolina. And they got the squad to match it. It's not just picking off nostalgia. They got the Joyce Edwards. They got Raven Johnson. They got Tessa Johnson. They definitely got a squad. Texas, I like Texas to make the Final Four on the women's side as well. Madison Booker being able to come back and do it again. And this is what I've talked about before, how I like watching the women's basketball because you get so much more star power because they stay in school for 4 years. If we got to see, Cooper Flagg coming back for a sophomore year and all that, then maybe be some more star power. But the women, they stay for 4 years, so you know exactly pretty much what you're going to get out of most of these teams. And UCLA, I do like them coming out, even though this was the one I kind of went back and forth on of could there be a number 2 seed or a 3 seed coming out. They got LSU on their side of the bracket. LSU is a really formidable team, and I think they got a good squad this year. But what UCLA and Lauren Betts have been able to do this year, really dominating competition all year long. They're 31-1, 14-0 at home. I mean, they dominated all year long. I got to take UCLA to make the Final Four. What do you think about the women's tournament and any of the players in it? Any players you're excited to watch going into this women's tournament as well?
So this is the thing about the women's tournament that's kind of anticlimactic in my opinion.
Yeah.
You generally can take the top 4 teams against the field.
Yeah.
And not only will you be in good shape, like you won't even sweat many of the games.
No.
You know what I mean? I think this particular year, the drama that's in question is what kind of team does LSU have?
Mm-hmm.
And coincidentally, if all things, if Baylor's somehow able to upset Duke,
yeah,
they'll be playing LSU in the Elite Eight, which I think would be a great storyline.
Great storyline.
Like I say, the NCAA has.
They know what they do.
Not the Elite Eight, but the Sweet 16. Mm-hmm. They'd be playing, and you get a whole week of build-up for Baylor versus LSU. Unfortunately, I don't think Baylor's gonna make it.
I don't know if they'll beat the Duke team. I'm giving them a chance, though, because they got Talia Scott and what they've been able to do this year, man. So I'm giving them a chance, but I don't know if they'll be able to get past Duke. But
my question is, can LSU knock off UCLA? I think that's the big question.
Mm-hmm.
Like you mentioned, that's the only drama I think left in this tournament. I think UConn is unless there's some catastrophic injury, I think UConn is the odds-on favorite to win it. Second, behind them, probably Texas would be second.
Yeah.
And then Dawn is third. I just don't see a scenario where any one of those 4 or 5, including LSU teams, don't win the championship.
Yeah,
what do you think about that?
Yeah, I agree. It's one of those 5 teams. There's not a lot of drama, like you said, kind of anticlimactic going into the tournament. But the Final Four is going to be interesting. You'll end up getting, a UConn versus South Carolina. That's a monster matchup. If you look forward a little bit and looking into that Final Four there. But like you said, UConn, man, they're battle tested. They've got the greatest coach of all time in women's basketball and Coach Gino. They put out another monster squad this year. UCLA is interesting just because it seems like they always seem to fold when they get to that last point. Even though they got another great team with Lauren Betts again, UCLA, they're 31-1, man. But it's going to be tough for them to even get past LSU. And if they get in that Final Four versus Madison, Booker, and Texas, I'm definitely taking Texas in that one.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm agreeing with you. I think UConn is for sure the favorite in this tournament. My heart is going with South Carolina. Baylor first, but if Baylor ends up losing first or second round, my heart is with South Carolina. But man, I just don't see how they'll be able to take out that UConn team, especially seeing the way that Texas honestly kind of dominated them in the SEC championship game. But the women's tournament is going to be a lot of fun, of course, to watch as well. Folks, while we got some time left here on the show, let's go through some other sports here as we can go back. You can go back and wind. I'll put out some clips here of the bracketism, as Rocky has called it. I like that name. We got to stick with that. Let me go in and put some check to see who's already took that or not. But yeah, make sure you go back and watch, rewind as you're going through to make your picks moving forward. Let's look at a little bit of NFL here. We've got a little bit of NFL news. This is kind of that, not the dead point, but the in-between right after the spark of free agency and everybody's waiting on the draft. But a couple noticeable moves have been made. First off, Broncos going and trading for Jalen Waddle. Broncos give up a first-round pick. They get back a fourth in this one, but they give up a first-round pick, showing that hey, they're serious about trying to make a run. I think if Bo Nix is healthy, that they not only beat the New England Patriots, I think that the Broncos honestly would have been Super Bowl champs if they would have had a healthy Bo Nix. And I think they know that, so they're making the moves. They trade a first-round pick. They get back Jalen. They trade a first, a third, and a fourth-round pick, all in the 2026 draft. And just to get Jalen Waddle, they get back a fourth-round pick and Jalen Waddle. What do you think about the move, and did they give up too much?
Man, I think they should have offered that trade for George Pickens.
Yeah.
No.
But seriously, though, when you see a move like that, you would think that a George Pickens or somebody like that is coming back. Not saying Jalen Waddle's not a guy. He's definitely can ball. But when I seen first-round pick, I was like, that's a little much. Then I seen third and fourth-round pick, and I said, well, hold on, what's going on here? But what do you think about them going and getting Waddle, adding them to the Broncos?
So, I think what they thought, what they needed, they want a wide receiver that can take the top off. Mm-hmm. They thought, they're giving Bo Nix another weapon. Did they lose Cortland Sutton and
I think he's still there. Okay,
so I mean, they're just giving Bo Nix another weapon and seeing how it works out. I think. Miami is probably in full tank mode.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I just think, I think it's a lot to give up for.
For Waddle.
Waddle, but you look at Denver at they're probably going to be picking 27, 28. Mm-hmm. It possibly could be picking 28, 29.
Yeah.
Are they going to be able to get a wide receiver that's going to be able to make an impact this year at that pick?
No.
And so, and if you pick him, even if you pick a guy at 29, you're going to be obligated for 4 years to pay him $20 million probably. Let's see what they got a year with Waddle probably on that deal, or he may even redo it.
Yeah, I think they might end up giving him an extension, but that's what's reported right now, that they might end up giving him an extension. I like the move with Waddle because one thing we all know in football, you can't teach your speed. Waddle, he's got that. He's a 4.2, 4.3 type of guy. We know what he can do. He's had a couple of good seasons, but the last 2 seasons I think have been kind of underwhelming, and that may not be his fault. He was kind of stuck out there with Tua, so it really don't matter.
With that cap gun?
Yeah, he was stuck out there with old noodle arm, so I don't know if, how much he was going to be able to do there. But them giving up that many picks for him, I thought was a lot, but I like initially the move for them to get him. Hollywood Brown signs with the Philadelphia Eagles. This is not, a huge signing in my opinion. They do add some speed to that, but is this more of a sign of what's to come with potentially A.J. Brown been reportedly on his way out of the Eagles franchise? You think this is kind of one of those final things like, okay, well, yeah, they're going to get rid of A.J. if they're picking this up?
Well, I think they're fortifying their receivers.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that they got into a situation last year is if you don't play A.J. Brown, then who you have? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you have another capable wide receiver? You end up with that. Then the other part is if you trade A.J. Brown and you end up having to trade him after the draft, what are you going to end up what your wide receiver room is going to look like? Is it going to be Devontae Smith and a bunch of no names?
Mm-hmm.
Did you want that? And you say, okay, let's get another veteran wide receiver in here, someone with a decent skill set that has speed, that may be speaking to what they're going to look at down the field. They have a new, after all, they have a new offensive coordinator as well.
Yep.
May have to look at where he comes from and what kind of system he wants to run with those guys. And I think he needs some. I think in that system, that Shanahan system, you got to have a guy who's going to run reverses and do that kind of stuff. And I think Hollywood is a guy that can do some of that stuff. So anyway, my point is saying that they had to get a receiver in if they're going to get rid of A.J. Brown. I think A.J. Brown is not playing with the Eagles next year, whether it's via trade before the draft, trade after the draft, or they just outright cut him.
Release him after that, yeah.
Yeah, so
I agree with that. I think his days in Philly are already over with. Both sides are ready to come to an end to that. I think them signing Hollywood Brown is leaning me. I thought they were going to take a receiver at 23 in the draft. Now I'm kind of waiting to see, like, okay, if they get Hollywood Brown, because there's a good amount of receivers that'll be there in the first round that can make a difference. I think Carnell Tate will be gone, Mekhi Lemon will be gone, and Jordan Tyson will be gone. But that leaves some other guys like the Zachariah Branch, that's a speed guy out of Georgia. But with them signing Hollywood Brown, I'm like, well, maybe they're going a different direction. I'm not sure.
Well, like I think we won't know anything for sure until the draft, because it may be a situation where a team will say, okay, we don't want to give you our pick, but maybe with A.J. Brown, we'll let you move up and we'll take your pick. You know what I mean? Something like that. I think again, this is just something I keep coming back to, and it may not be possible, but I do see a situation where A.J. Brown gets reunited with Vrabel.
That's what everybody's leaning to. They keep saying New England.
And so I just think it has to, what kind of draft capital does New England have, considering, they went to the Super Bowl? That means they're picking 31. So that's not a better pick. Like you can't, as the Eagles, you can't justify trading A.J. Brown for their number one when they pick behind you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because any
Seriously.
player you can get with
at 31,
it's going to be there at 30. So
yeah.
But with signing Hollywood Brown, they may go ahead and trade him for New England's first round pick, and then go ahead and accept picking at 30 and 31.
Yeah, I'm interested. Like you said, we won't even know really until we get close to the draft. But what direction they'll go if they'll trade AJ? I think if they trade him, they want to get somebody in the top 15 range, at least in my opinion. If you trading away for a pick this year, I think that's what they'll be leaning towards. But we'll see. I think all in all, AJ Brown is definitely headed for a divorce with the Philadelphia Eagles. What do you think about the Chiefs going and getting Justin Fields? Is this an anything pick, or what do you think about this?
No, this is a sweet move. This is a sweet move. So what this does, it takes the pressure off Mahomes having to start at the beginning of the season, right? Andy gets a bargain for a backup quarterback.
7th-round pick, yeah.
When you look at his ability, skill set, and productivity, he gets a bargain. And just think what Andy Reid could possibly do for Justin Fields as a quarterback.
Yeah.
Certainly anybody with any sense would be able to see that Alex Smith and Justin Fields have a similar skill set, in my opinion. You see what Andy did for Alex Smith's career. Sure. Justin Fields, by all accounts, is a hard worker, is a great teammate, and maybe Andy can revitalize his career. when you look at some of the quarterbacks that Andy's worked with, they weren't off the shelf. They didn't have the skill set that
for sure.
Justin Fields had. When you talk about, I was about to say Axel Foley, but it's Nick Foles.
Nick Foles.
I don't know why I was going to say Axel Foley. That's a character from 48 Hours. Or Beverly Hills Cop. Beverly Hills Cop,
I think
right?
it's Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah. Anyway, Nick Foles. Nick Foles, and then you talk about Kevin Cobb. When you think about those guys that Andy's kind of worked with and really got the best out of, maybe not so much Nick Foles. Maybe he was gone when Nick Foles was.
I think he was there at the beginning.
Yeah,
with Foles, and then when he ended up leaving, going to the Chiefs, and they got Chip Kelly and blew the whole team up.
Yeah. Because I think Peterson was.
In the second stint with Foles,
Peterson. But anyway, my point in saying it is he's worked with Kevin Cobb for sure, and
make Justin Fields work.
And literally revitalized Mike Vick's career.
Absolutely.
Who would probably have a similar skill set as Mike Vick. You know what I mean? So I'm excited. I'm excited for two reasons. Justin Fields gets to really be coached by a quarterback guru, and he gets to keep his $10 million that he signed for last year.
I think
even though the Chiefs got a deal because they only had to pay $3 of it.
And the Jets, the Jets are just terrible. Like what is going on with the New York Jets? They are absolutely terrible. But I think it'll be good for him if it works out. If it doesn't, unfortunately, I think it'll be a career killer. If you go out there and you put up anything similar stat-wise to what you did in New York last year, which I said on the show yesterday, what he did in New York was honestly some of the worst. I know it's New York, and it's terrible. He's working in the worst conditions you could possibly work in. But when you go out there and have a couple of games where you have 30 yards in a game and you play for a quarter, it's just ridiculous. If he doesn't make this work with Andy Reid, I think that'll be it for Justin Fields playing quarterback in this league. But you're working with the best in the business when you talk about a guy like Andy Reid. Let's go to some quick takes here before we do some NBA before we get off the show here today. First off, I asked you about it last time. Team USA World Baseball Classic. Are you watching tonight, 7 o'clock?
Absolutely not. It's HBCU
it's
coach. It's HBCU Coach's Corner.
Absolutely.
And we have Coach Van Malone on the Hampton University head coach. And his defensive coordinator is a local guy here that used to coach at Baylor, University of Texas, guy by the name of Clay Jennings.
Okay.
He is the guy from La Vega. He is the actual defensive coordinator at Hampton. So I'm looking forward to us talking to Coach Malone, getting him on and discussing his program. This is his first year at Hampton after they've had, 2 really tough years. And so I'm looking forward to having that conversation with him and talking about his journey. He's a guy that has never coached in the HBCU round before. Matter of fact, neither him nor Clay has ever coached in the HBCU round before. This will be their first job, and after about 4 months on the job, we want to talk about what are some of the similarities, what are some of the differences, and why was it HBCU where he finally got his first chance to be a head coach after spending his last 6.5 years over at Kansas State.
Oh yeah, that'll definitely be a good one. I'll be tuned in
as the assistant head coach.
That's 8 o'clock tonight, y'all. HBCU Coach's Corner. Make sure y'all tuning in for that. They always do an excellent job on the show there, so make sure y'all tuning in. In between there, 7 o'clock game. For those of y'all that will be watching, Team USA, man, y'all got to go out here and close the deal. I don't watch baseball. I told y'all before, but if we get to do some red, white, and blue on, I'm going to go out there and support and see what's going on. The real World Series game was last week when they played Dominican Republic. We all know that was the game everybody wanted to watch. They got past those guys, so I think they should definitely get past Venezuela tonight. Or else, because, I don't see how we lose to anybody. I thought this was America's pastime. I'm just trying to figure out how we keep losing to people, and we're supposed to be the ones that started the sport. No, y'all the baseball guys, y'all tell me I don't know how we lose to people if it's supposed to be America's pastime. This is our sport. This is the great American game. Why are we losing?
For me, the big game tonight is Howard versus University of Maryland, Baltimore.
For sure.
And it tipped off here at 5:30 our time. So ever since we've been on the air, they've been playing. And it looks like they're playing no defense because it's in the first half, it's 41-14 to 49.
Oh, yeah. They get shots up. They say, hey, we trust somebody gonna make it into the 16 seed.
Somebody bought the gun.
Yeah.
They shoot. I'm interested. What I didn't know is that these final four teams, these first play-in games, if they win, they still get a winner's share. They get a winner's share.
I didn't know that.
And I want to say this year is like $21 million for each conference. Like if your team wins, if your conference wins, you get $21 million. So that's a pretty good share.
Oh yeah.
And then that's for each win. You know what I mean? So that's why I never knew why it was so important for the conference records to be posted and all that kind of stuff. There's money tied to it, and I'm sure there's some rev share tied to it nowadays as well. So I'm sure the kids are not only playing for money for their college and your conference, they're playing for money themselves, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely. And I'll be tuning in once we get off here to see in that second half if Howard can – if anybody decides to play defense, let's just start with that. Yeah, y'all just putting the ball up in the first half. So I like to see we getting March Madness started early. Let's go to stay in a college basketball story, kind of, but this one is just one of those what are you doing moments. Aiden Holloway, guy that was averaging 9 points a game for Alabama, who's got a good chance of making it to the Sweet 16 and maybe even further than that. Guy that had a good spot on their team and was playing good basketball. Will not be in the tournament and playing with them, as he'll probably be dismissed from the team, as authorities came into his apartment last week and seized 2.1 pounds of marijuana from his apartment. Felony drug possession in the state of Alabama. When you've got over 2 pounds, you're now in territory of getting drug trafficking charges as well. These guys are getting NIL deals now. These guys are getting shoe deals in college. I'm not very familiar with Aiden Holloway's game, but if you're playing on a team like Alabama, I'm sure you're getting compensated in NIL money. What in the world are you doing? I know you're not smoking 2 pounds. So why are you being the campus trap guy and y'all are making NIL? Like, that's how you decided to spend your NIL money? I think buying the chains is stupid. But I think buying 2 pounds of weed is stupider. It's something else you could have did with your money, bro. Like, what are you doing? Now you're going to get dismissed. Now you got no chance of making it to the NBA. Now you're going to be playing. When you're playing in 20-degree weather in Russia in a couple of years, you're going to think back to say, if you're free, and say, man, what was I doing to go out here? And somehow this keeps happening in Alabama. Remember a few years ago when they had Brandon Miller, his teammate shot a dude in the club. Like, what's going on? Like, what is not computing up there that you're getting NIL money and you still say, I'm going to take these chances, I'm going to get this NIL money, and I'm going to go buy 2 zips, and then I'm going to flip that, and I'm going to make some more money, and I'll have the NIL money and the dope. What are you thinking, bro? Now you got no money. Now you don't got the NIL deal. The police is smoking your weed right now. You don't even got that. So come on, bro. What are you doing? What's going on? What do you think about Aiden Holloway losing pretty much all of his credibility and him being on Alabama's team now after these charges?
Well, I just think it's just a dumb decision. Yeah. Whatever he's getting, someone said he's making upwards of $150,000, $200,000 in NIL. And if that's not enough for you, young man, then what are you doing? Like, what are you doing with your life where you need more than, while in college, you need more than $200,000 and then you have an opportunity to earn more, as you become more successful. Like I said, I just think this is a young kid who made it hard. He's a 21-year-old man, so let me just say that.
Yeah.
He made a horrible decision, and I hope he learned from the consequences of his actions, And I hope others, more importantly, Jalen, I hope others learn.
Yeah,
like when you are getting paid $150,000 to $200,000 to play basketball, that's your job. You don't need a side hustle. You don't need a gig. You don't need gig employment. No. You don't need anything else. You need to focus your time and energy on basketball, period, point blank. Anything else, in my opinion, is a distraction.
Yeah, and that's all this is, man. Like you said, if you're making potentially 6 figures to play basketball in college, I know y'all not taking – you're probably not in rocket science classes as there at Alabama, but you definitely taking math classes. How many bowls do you got to buy for you to make $150,000 in a year? Like, what are you doing? This makes no sense, man. And like you said, hopefully other kids learn from his mistakes out there and don't decide to try to take penitentiary chances. And you got $200,000 in the bag already. Doesn't really make much sense. Let's hit some NBA real quick before we get out of here tonight. A few good games on. First, I got to talk about the Lakers winning 6 straight. I know you are a Lakers watcher as well, Rocky, and they've been playing some decent basketball. Everybody's been making all the hoopla about their defense. Last few games, they've been playing some better defense. Last night, they actually hold the Rockets to their lowest scoring total, second lowest scoring total of the season as they beat them. Even though I think that was more about my Rockets just not getting it right, man. They really been pushing the buttons these last few weeks and how they've decided to play terrible these last few weeks. But staying with the Lakers, they win 6 straight. They're looking good. They got Bron as the third option now, which I think is the best option, especially for the regular season. Let Luka and let Austin Reeves carry the load moving forward. Mm-hmm. What do you think about the Lakers and their chances of actually doing something this year?
Man, I think the Lakers are getting better by the season. They're they've won 6 in a row. Their chemistry is getting better. They seem like they're trying to figure out this defense thing, even though Bron really isn't playing much defense nowadays.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. But again, what I really think is that LeBron and the Lakers have a chance to really do something special. I don't know if they're good enough to beat either OKC or San Antonio, but I think they can make if they get the right matchup in the first round, and I'm gonna say Houston or Denver, they could make it to the second round.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Houston, Denver, or Minnesota, for that matter, they can make it to the second round.
I think the Lakers are probably as far as upset-wise, the most dangerous team probably in the NBA because, yes, they don't play that great of defense, even though their defense has gotten much better, and J.J. Redick is doing a phenomenal job of finding ways to play defense when you only got 2 or 3 defenders on the entire team. But what they do got is they got a big old gun on the offensive side, and that's Luka, man. It's literally too easy. I was watching the game last night against my Rockets. He gets 15 points in the first quarter, doesn't miss a shot, and it's all easy buckets. He's leading the league in scoring for a reason, averaging almost 33 a game with 8 or 9 assists to go with it. Luka's a problem. AR is a good second option. And if LeBron gets to take plays off and gets to rest and just use his basketball mind in the third and fourth quarter, I think they're dangerous going forward. But like you said, I don't see them beating San Antonio or Oklahoma City. If I'm the Lakers, I honestly would rather play Oklahoma City, even though they're the champs moving forward. They got the guy that I think is probably going to win MVP again in SGA. I would rather play them because there's nothing you can do against Wemby. There's no stopping it. You can say there's nothing you can do against SGA, but we've seen SGA have off nights, and we've seen the Thunder struggle with health all season. They're still not healthy right now. J-Dub has missed, at this point, almost half the season. Chet Holmgren's missed time. SGA's missed time. I don't want to play the Spurs if I'm the Lakers. But the Lakers got a good chance to do something this year, man. I like what Luka's been doing. Obviously, I like what Coach J.J. Redick has been doing as well. Talking about the Thunder, they're coming in as the favorites to go back to the finals once again. Do you think they should be the favorites to win it all once again, even with their struggles with health so far this year?
I think you got to pick them. They're the most talented team, even though they're not playing the best. I think how the playoffs kind of set up, if you're a little weary, if you're a little under the weather, the way the playoffs set up, it allows you to get healthy during the playoffs, especially if you're able to get some sweeps early or something like that. And they may get a really favorable matchup really early. So, again, I think they're the favorites right now. They got the best record in the West.
Yeah, 53 and 15.
Yeah. So I mean, we can. I think in situations like this, the demise of the champs are greatly exaggerated. I think what they're doing is they're going through what most teams go through once they've played a really long championship season, is that they deal with nicks and fatigue level injuries, soft tissue injuries, and they're and as much as we want to make them seem injured, all of the guys come back. None of them, I think Jaden is the only one that has sat significant time.
Yeah.
None of them needed surgery, rehab, or anything like that. So I think it's a legalized way to load manage in a situation where they've had they've played an extended number of games this past year. They played well into almost July, and had to come back in October and start up. Unfortunately, that's just the plight of the champion.
Yeah.
The champion has to play 2 more months longer than the rest of the league, and so I think they'll be fine. I think they'll be fine. If they get beat, it'll be because a team like San Antonio, in my opinion, or the Lakers just played better. It won't be because of injury. It'll be because they just got outplayed.
Yeah, it's still not early, but it's still too early. I'm got to see. I go off seedings when you get into the NBA because the matchups is really what's more important than the seedings, and to see who gets matched up with who. But San Antonio is going to be scary. I know Oklahoma City, they're the champs. They got SGA. They got all this. San Antonio is a scary team. They can play every style of ball. They got something that nobody else got. They got an 8-foot guy that can shoot from 30 feet. So, they got something that no one else got out there. And they've got a lot of youth, so they can run most teams out of the gym. That's why a team like the Lakers wouldn't work against the Spurs. They're going to just run them out the gym, man. They got a bunch of 21, 22-year-olds out there running around. So I think, San Antonio got a great chance to get it, but my favorite would still be Oklahoma City moving forward. As I said, the last couple of shows, can't get bored with greatness. SGA is averaging 32 on a team that's 53-15. He's got to be the MVP, and the Thunder have to be the favorite still until somebody knocks them off moving forward. Let's look at a couple of these games here tonight and find a couple of minutes here of the show. Get some of these people paid here tonight. Some games have already started. I'll go to some of the games that are getting ready to come on here in just a second, and then Rocky, I ask you if you got any picks that you want to throw in on the end of this. Cleveland Cavaliers playing playing against Milwaukee. It's a 12.5-point spread. I wouldn't take them on the 12.5, but add them in on your parlay. You might can make up some money there at the end. Philly is playing against Denver on TV tonight on NBC. They know y'all be watching. They'll know y'all will be watching March Madness and the Team USA playing in the World Baseball Classic, and you'll be watching HBCU Coach's Corner. So they put one of these garbage games on NBC tonight. Philly versus Denver. Denver's gonna blow them out the water, man. Give me Denver all day in that one. 15.5-point spread is wild, but like I said, put it together, couple it with some other picks. Boost your parlay up there on the money line. Phoenix playing against Minnesota. This is a game that I would get some makeup points. I think Phoenix is going to win this over the Minnesota Timberwolves. Anthony Edwards out for tonight's game, so that means guys like Rudy Gobert are going to have to dribble the basketball. Give me Phoenix in that game, and you get them on the points plus 3.5 to be able to make up some of what you lost there, taking those other money line games. And then San Antonio versus the Kings tonight. Kings are absolutely terrible. They should take their franchise away because I'm tired of seeing the Kings be sorry year after year after year. They're 18-51, and they got 3 guys on a max contract. No idea what's going on there in the Sacramento Kings, but definitely easy pick up there for the Spurs. Pick up some wins there. Any props or anything else you've seen tonight that you like? I'm
putting one in right now. Mm-hmm. Take in the Minnesota Phoenix game, take Book over 28.
Yep.
Randall over 23.5, and then go ahead and get Naz Reid 22.5 rebounds, points, and assists.
Yeah, PRA for sure. 22.5, you got to get on that or not. They shooting the ball. If you want to take something else, field goal attempts. Naz Reid and Julius Randle are going to be the only ones shooting the ball tonight. Find their field goal attempts, take those because they putting shots up tonight in that one as well. Any other picks you like on the slate tonight here? Not a lot of NBA action. I think everybody's getting ready gearing up.
Like I say, I think the Denver pick is a solid pick.
Yeah.
That's the one I definitely think is a solid pick.
Put a couple of those together, y'all. You might be able to get you some here tonight.
Some lunch money, man.
Win you a couple of dollars. Get you ready for the March Madness. We know that's where y'all are all putting and saving your money for as March Madness right around the corner. Great games on tonight. Getting ready to watch the second half of this Howard game as they're playing right now in the first part of March Madness. We got another game tonight. I think Texas and North Carolina State will be playing again tonight. That should be a good one as well. So lots to watch. World Baseball Classic as well. HBCU Coaches Corner coming on at 8 o'clock. Thanks, everybody, for watching today. Like, share, subscribe, as always. We'll see you guys on Thursday. I have Wayne back in studio with me here on Thursday. We'll talk about some of the March Madness games that have already happened and preview some of the games for Friday and Saturday that'll be moving forward. We'll see you guys next time here on Centex Primetime. Everybody have a great evening.
Yeah, we going 10 for 10, 10 for 10, 10 for 10, 10 for 10. We going 10 for 10, 10 for 10, 10 for 10, 10 for 10. We going 10 for 10. Who's that? It's Sam. I'm back again. Stay on track. Follow the trend. I'm locked in, ain't taking no breaks, but you can't relate it. It what it is.